Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. What a world we live in. And you know what I realized? I don't think there's actually any escape from that, unfortunately. If you know the channel, you know guys, I've been talking about the family preparedness and resilience for many years. In fact, I'm in the process of finishing my book, which will be coming out really soon. But just take a step back and have a look what is currently happening in the world. Just have a look at the headlines. And I'm not just talking about these sort of the basic headlines, the fear of the headlines, but genuinely have a look what's happening in the world. There's so many things, and it all seems to be happening all at once. And it also feels like there's actually no escape from that. But we talked about the preppers burnout, and it's a real thing. Because us as a preppers, we're not just basically stockpiling tins and food and everything else. The whole point about the preparedness and resilience is building skills, but at the same time is stepping back and understanding, evaluating and seeing what's actually happening in the world. So you get a better picture, understanding what potentially is coming our way. So prepper burnout is a real thing, and it is very important to be able to step back and trying to just take some time off to basically get yourself back into track. Just make sure you chill a little bit and, get yourself refreshed so you come back and you can continue. Because preparedness is a journey, not a destination. This is basically a way of life. This is what I call it. And what I realized that as much as I wanted to step away from that, to step away from what's currently happening, because it is absolutely everywhere, we're surrounded by that, it's not really that possible. And I explained to you why, because we made a decision, it was pretty much on a short notice, to pay a trip to France to escape from all of that. Just genuinely just have a little holiday for a few days and just come back nice, refreshed and relaxed. But unfortunately, that hasn't happened for more reasons than one. And I'll explain to you in a minute the whole understanding, the whole idea how we're not able to escape what's happening, even if we really wanted to. So we stayed in a chalet. It's a rental thing, that you rent yourself, not apartment, but like a bungalow, and you stay there. It's not all inclusive. You have to cook, you have to do whatever you want to do. And it's a little complex. You have swimming pool, you have other people, and genuinely they group you in, little groups with children. So you have a playground, so you can basically just mix with other families and have some fun. And so we did. And it wasn't cheap, I gotta say. We paid about £200 a night to stay there. And originally it was great. There's people there, there's swimming pool, kids having fun. And well, on the past couple of days, we started having some kids popping in to see our little one and sort of playing together, but there's sort of something a bit odd about it. And just the way that they spoke and sort of their actions, if I can call it that way. And literally on our previous to last day, the little kitty, it was two of them, one was 6 and one was 3, sort of started popping over a bit more often. As you do, sitting outside, I gave them some colorings, gave them pencils, and they sort of started to, color up, whatever. And then the conversation came to about, Amelia's asking where they're from, and apparently they were from Netherlands. And then as you do, you talk to kids, just thing to do, isn't it? You make a conversation. And we asked sort of, we came on the big boat. How did you kind of got here? And the little kiddie said, it was a little boat, a lot of people, and people can fall out. And it was scary. So okay, so alarm bells rang just a little bit. But okay, kids, right? 6. Kids can make up sort of random stuff. I get it. And we kind of left it at that. What could you do, right? And then later, again, Amelia was eating, our little girl eating the ice cream, and the kids come about again, and they asked if she could have an ice cream, if they could have an ice cream. She said that we didn't have any more left. So the kids walked away, and then came back, and Amelia came back to us first and said, the kid said basically if he doesn't get an ice cream that he'll, and I rephrase, deplete us, right? So think of that word. I'm not going to use the word. Okay. Again, it was her saying this, okay, let's just leave that. Surely not. It's got to be the kids thing or whatever. And then the kid came out later again and said the same thing, basically, is that if you don't give us an ice cream, you deplete, or his father will deplete. Okay. So now, right, so if you put 2 and 2 together, we have a family that's one house, but next from us, indicated that they arrived on a boat, and when we asked them where they were going, they said they were going to either France and then they were going to go to England. And then on the top of that is that what initially sounds like a threat to saying if he doesn't get or his little sister or brother doesn't get an ice cream, that there will be consequences. The thing is, right, that kid was 6, so he said he was 6 years old. The other little one was 3, he said, but the funny thing is he didn't really know whether it was a boy or girl, so it indicates they weren't related. But nonetheless, this is not the point. The point is the escape or transparency, in fact. This is what really got me really, really angry. I expect, as a paying customer, to have a transparency where I'm staying. It's not a cheap place. I would say it's not expensive actually for just a rental, but I expect a transparency. If this is what they're doing, organization doing that, that's fine. It's whatever. It's not fine, but it's fine. But the point is, I just expect to be told or not to be put in a position where there are children next to that situation. Okay, this is how I'm going to leave that. This I do not expect. Okay, so that was a bit of a blow. So that was, of course, the last we saw of them. We kind of sort of pushed them away. But that's that. So transparency, what's happening. So my point, what I'm saying, we cannot escape what's the sort of shit's happening in the world, because we can't seem to escape any of that. You take a holiday to escape the headlines and everything else, and then things like this happen. And then you go to the supermarket, which are by far better than ours, and the inflation, the prices are horrendous. We've been going there for, goodness, past 10 years. We always use that as a base and then we travel around. But the prices went up like huge amount in the past just over a year that we've been there. It is ridiculous. You literally walk in there, you get some food and it's like 120 euros. Boom, done. And then you see there again the fires in the news. All of that, it's all there. That's what I'm saying to you. You're trying to take time off from the world, but it looks like the world's actually coming with you. There is no escape from any of that. So on the way back, we spent absolute hours in customs. The queues are absolutely horrendous. Our air conditioning in the car broke. We drove home at 28 degrees with no air conditioning, sitting in the traffic. And then we got stopped, stopped if you wish, on the way because of the fire. Again, on the road, there was a fire brigade there. They're trying to deal with the fire there. So all of that is currently happening in the world, we're trying to escape. It seems to be just here. It's with you. It's everywhere. And it's so important, as I said, guys, to trying to step away from this, because we constantly bombarded with the fear, the things that are currently happening. And all we ask for is just step away from this and just have a bit of a refresh. And then when that happens, when you go there and everything's still there, is the same shit, different country, everything's there. It's horrendous. I cannot explain enough the frustration, or how would you say, the preparedness angle of how important it is to understand what is currently happening in the world. Because no, we cannot, hold the weight of every headline. Because yes, some of them might dump, some of them are OTT, but the important point is to understand, we as preppers, as people, need to understand truly what it is happening. There's so much happening in the world right now that is very much not talked about, but it's not really talked about properly or explained properly, if that makes sense. All of those things are huge. For example, here, like when we talk about the fires, we have horrendous fires in UK, and horrendous fires in France and in Spain. It's absolutely horrendous. You can see there on the news. It is shocking. It is shocking how many people are being displaced, but there's no place even to put people properly. You're taken out, you put in some sort of the shelter stuff, you'd be there for weeks. It is absolutely ridiculous. And this is what I feel, guys. There is no escape from any of that. The only escape maybe is possible if you get to drive somewhere in the middle of nowhere and be there, but then still, you still have to drive there. You still have to be faced potentially with sort of issues of getting there. You can take a flight, but again, there could be problems, there could be delays, there could be everything. And then whatever you get there, it's, again, nobody knows what's going to be happening. Nobody can truly predict where you're going, what you're doing, and what's going to be happening. And this is my understanding, that escaping the issues, escaping the world, I don't think is possible. So I think, as my understanding or my conclusion from all of that, yeah, a lot of things are happening. We got to be, as preppers, build the resilience at home, because there's not a lot really we can do with anything else apart from really concentrating on the things we can do at home. See, with the droughts, with the fires, there is a big problem, as I said, and we live on the verge of a lot of field. And I mean, one of the massive parks. And it's scary because just like this, you can get an alert message saying, off you go, off you pop, you need to exit. So this is why now at the moment we are concentrating on sorting out the camper van with a little bit more than just our normal camping gear, because if you have to stay in somewhere for for a few days or a couple of weeks, you need to make sure you've got things more than just your camping fun stuff. So this is when the process of, but this is what the part of the resilience is, understanding what is happening and then acting upon it. Okay, because preparedness, resilience, it is not just stocking up food, it's understanding, it's preparing, and it's doing things, and it's learning skills. So there we are. Anyway guys, that's it. That's me done. Anyway, I hope you have found this video, I don't know, useful, helpful, but nonetheless, I shall see you in the next one. Bye bye.